The other side of this is the police themselves, some of the bravest people in this country. And I've said so. They're bad cops. Every good cop will tell you they're bad cops. And they're bad everybody's, right? They're bad all kinds of people. They're not free of original sin. So an LA councilwoman goes down and tells the police that they're going to dismantle the police. They're going to defund the police in LA, which would be, bring your marshmallows, folks, because you'll have a lot of fires to roast them by. And here is an LA cop finally speaking back.
Because of the Black Lives Matter on the front line, throwing the box and bottles at these officers, cracking their skulls, is because of them, because of their constant pandering at the police commission. It's 100 of them, but you guys are listening to them. What about the law-abiding citizens that are law-abiding? They don't break the law. All they want is these officers to protect them. And this is what they do every day. And now you're cutting from their families. When they put everything on the line, we're going to fight. Okay?
Take care of it at the ballot box.
Okay.
These cops risk their lives to keep us safe. There is a thin blue line between civilization and barbarism. There is a thin blue line between civilization and barbarism. And sometimes, we ask the cops not just to handle our failures as a society, our sociological and historical failures. They have to handle on the ground. They didn't cause them. They're getting the last part of them. They're getting the final part. It's like a funnel. We pour in all these problems and the guy comes down who's a criminal and the cop has to deal with that problem. They go out there and they risk their lives and they risk everything. And we also ask them to do, which is in some ways is even harder, is because most cops never face the kind of real violence that you see on TV. But we ask them to take care of our worst people, to confront our worst people. If Ilhan Omar thinks there's some super world where you defund the police and we reimagine what law enforcement looks like, we have counselors there. You call a counselor if you get raped and killed. That's great. If you think that that's the way it is, it's because if you can have that imagination, it's because the cops keep you safe enough to be that stupid. The cops deal with the things so you don't have to deal with them. They see the children who are being abused. They see the women who are being abused. They see the men who are being shot and children being sucked into those stupid gangs where they become criminals and end their lives, to spend most of their lives in prison. They see all that. They deal with all that. They deal with it in any way they can think. And sometimes, as I say, of 800,000 policemen, that's a lot of bad cops. If any group of 800,000 people is going to have a lot of bad people in them, but so many of them are good, and we ask them to do so much, and then we spit on them, and then their leaders, the people who are supposed to govern the city, spit on them and turn their back on them and talk about defunding them and make them the villains for their failures. It's their failures. These are left-governed cities. These are Democrat states. These are blue states governed by Democrats with cities governed by Democrats. Some of them haven't seen a Republican governor for years, and that's the problem that the police inherit, and then we spit on them. That's a fantasy. That's an absolute recipe for disaster. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and share it with all your friends.